Tatis, he's going to lead Sports Center. He's done it again. Another home run.
Welcome back to the Chasing 2 podcast, episode number 32. I'm Blake Pryor alongside Dylan Smith. Dylan, we're going to try to keep this one sweet and short. We're going to do trade deadline predictions. We're going to go through each team and kind of predict a player that this team should target. We're going to go to the AL West first. Who do you got Texas getting?
I got Texas going with Chris. Oh, sorry. You got Chris Paddock. I got Kyle Freeland.
Okay.
He has multiple years of control.
Yep.
And Texas is looking towards the future. Colorado is in the, very start point of their rebuild. So it makes sense to get something out of them.
Yeah, I'm sticking with a pitcher too. You just mentioned it. I had Chris Paddock. We kind of read each other's list there. But yeah, kind of same situation as you. They're kind of rebuilding. They get a pitcher and Chris Paddock with control. Who do you got the Angels getting?
I got Kyle Hendricks. I feel like this guy has made sense for the Angels for multiple years. He's got some time with Joe Madden under his belt. So I think that kind of is a guy that Joe Madden would push to get. Plus, he's had an ERA, in the 3.2s multiple times in his career. I think only one time an ERA over 4, and they need guys. They need arms. And they got the prospect capital. Maybe they trade Joe Adell and move on there.
I'm going to stick with the pitcher also here. I have them getting John Means, lefty for the Baltimore Orioles, a guy with lots of control. Guy who's had a really good breakout season this year. I think that'd be a good get for the Angels. Moving over to Seattle, who do you got them getting?
I got them getting Cesar Hernandez. He's had a pretty decent year with Cleveland, who's fallen out of it quickly here. He's coming out of the break.
Yeah.
He's got 15 plus homers this season, which usually he doesn't hit for power, but this year he is. So, they've kind of had a hole over at second base that they need to fill. And I think that switching to second baseman would work well for that team that's trying to contend.
Yeah, I have them getting Brian Reynolds from the Pittsburgh Pirates. I don't know. It might cost a lot to get a guy like Brian Reynolds, but I mean, Seattle needs a guy out of Taylor Trammell hasn't done very well in the 3 times that he's been up. So Brian Reynolds, guy that can hit over 300, hit for some power a little bit. He sprays the ball over the field. I think that'd be a really good piece for the Seattle Mariners to go out and grab. Moving over to the Oakland A's, who you got Oakland getting?
I got them getting a closer finally. Trevor Rosenthal, who they signed in the offseason, he never panned out. He's had a season-ending surgery.
Yeah.
So they need a closer, and I got Taylor Rogers going there from the Minnesota Twins.
Okay.
He's having a great year. I believe he's the all-star lefty. Fit right in there, and it's a team that's, just keeps falling short year after year in the playoffs, and they, shore up that back into the bullpen, move Trevino and Diekman more in their traditional roles, and let it ride from there.
I have them getting Kyle Schwarber. I think this would be a big bat for them to go out and get. Guy that can just play DH there, hit lots of tanks for them. Schwarber's, I'm not sure. Is he back from his hamstring injury?
I don't believe so, not yet.
Yeah, so I do think he'll still be moved, even though if he's going to miss a few more weeks. But Kyle Schwarber to Oakland would be a really, really good landing spot. Who do you got Houston getting?
I got Houston ended up with Jose Barrios, another Minnesota Twin. This is a team that's probably going to lose Carlos Correa this offseason.
Yeah.
And they need to build up that pitching. They've already re-signed Lance McCullers to a pretty hefty extension. They have Urquidy there. Odorizzi signed this late in free agency this year.
And they got Valdez too.
Yeah, and Greinke's going to be a free agent. So and I think they're going to look for a guy that they can get in that rotation that has ace stuff. I wouldn't necessarily qualify him as an ace, just based off of his, he's hit or miss sometimes, but he does have really good stuff. And I think this is a move that Houston looks at and, makes sense for them.
Yeah, I have them getting Starling Marte. I mean, Miles Straw has done okay for them in center, but if they can go out and get Starling Marte and sign him to an extension to take over for center field, contract talks have broken off between Marte and the Marlins. I think that that would be a really good guy, a guy that can hit for average, hit home runs. I think his offense would be really good in that ballpark. You got that short porch and left, and he can still go out and get it in center. So I'll do it for the AL West. We'll go over to the AL Central. Who do you got Kansas City getting?
I got Kansas City going with Harrison Bader from the St. Louis Cardinals.
Okay.
Kansas City and St. Louis usually makes these weird deals. And I feel like this is a deal that maybe St. Louis would look at as, we let go of an outfielder. And right now, the Royals have Michael A. Taylor there, who's probably not their long-term piece. So you bring in a Harrison Bader, but you give away maybe like a Brad Keller type pitcher.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'd be more of like a pitcher for Bader deal. It plays the Royals offense. They like speed, they like defense. So I feel like he's a Kansas City Royal.
I got Gregory Polanco going there. I really struggle with Kansas City, like finding a player to get traded there. I mean, I feel like Gregory Polanco's been around for like 25 years. Like he just on all odds teams, but Minnesota Twins. Who do you got them getting?
I have Clint Frazier from the Yankees. So I think this is going to be a type of deal where the Yankees are looking for pitching again. Maybe Jose Barrios, even though I have him going over to Houston.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a potential for Clint Frazier going there because the Twins need long-term pieces and they need outfield help, especially if they're going to be trading Byron Buxton. That's been rumored.
Yeah.
So yeah, look for maybe a Twins and Yankees trade here.
Yeah, I got Sixto Sanchez going here. I think Buxton could end up in Miami. We're gonna get to that in a little bit here, but I think that like Buxton would be a good piece to build around that young core there. But like obviously Minnesota is gonna want a lot for Buxton, and it might cost Miami's got really good pitching. They got Alcantara and Pablo Lopez. I think like if they can go get Buxton and it might cost them Sixto Sanchez, I think they might do something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It'd be tough to get rid of Sixto, but I could see how there's a package that would make sense there.
Who do you got Detroit getting?
I have Detroit with Ha-Seong Kim from San Diego. He just came over from, I think, his Korean League.
Yep.
Really hasn't done much, and I just feel like he has a lot of hurdles there.
Mm-hmm.
As we're recording this podcast, Adam Frazier's just traded to the Padres, which we'll get into on another episode.
Yeah.
So now it's looking even more promising that Ha-Seong Kim could potentially get moved because they have Cronenworth, they have Machado, and Tatis.
Yeah, where's Adam Frazier going to play? Are they going to put Cronenworth in the outfield?
Potentially. Yeah. I mean, Frazier's played some outfield too.
Really good second base.
So where's Kim play? I mean, really,
he has played some in left, and like he's blocked by Machado at third, Tatis at short. Now you got Frazier at second, you got Cronenworth at second. Like it's a good problem to have for sure. But yeah, I'm probably with you on Kim out the door.
Plus they have Will Myers, Tommy Pham, and Jurickson Profar.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I mean, Ha-Seong Kim's on the bottom of that list.
I have Detroit trading for Merrill Kelly, a guy that has 5 years of control from Arizona. The Tigers have a lot of good pitching prospects, but I mean, it'd be nice to get a guy like Kelly there. He's had a really good season in Arizona this year, kind of a breakout season for him. But who do you got Cleveland getting?
Hear me out on this one. It's going to be a blockbuster deal. I have the Indians getting Gavin Lux finally. They wanted Gavin Lux for Francisco Lindor. The Dodgers have talked about they've been wanting pitching. There's two guys in Plesac and Bieber there that I think the Dodgers would be pretty interested in. Obviously, those would be the main pieces in the deal. But losing Francisco Lindor, I could see the Twins giving up even a Jose Ramirez and a pitcher, potentially for Gavin Lux. So he's blocked unless they're going to let Corey Seager go.
Yeah.
He's blocked at short. He's blocked at second.
Right.
Because Muncy plays there. So, I mean, I don't know. I think Gavin Lux will fit real well in with the Indians. I think it's been a good fit, even going back to Francisco Lindor trade, and maybe we see it get done.
Yeah, I probably should have changed this after they were shopping around Jose Ramirez. I have Ketel Marte going to Cleveland. I mean, they've been starving for outfielders. But now with them potentially trading Ramirez and some pitching, that's probably not going to happen. So, Ketel Marte is going to be a sought after guy. Like the Yankees should be all over that. There's going to be a lot of teams interested in him. So
the Angels have an outfielder.
Who's that?
Justin they got Upton? Joe Adell. They got Joe Adell.
Joe Adell? Yeah. I mean,
maybe for Plesac, maybe for Bieber.
Would you okay, Joe Adell, would you trade him for it would be Adell plus for Bieber, no?
Yes.
Okay. So, I mean,
but not much more plus.
There's probably going to have to be some salary in there a little bit.
Yeah, like a Heaney, $8 million, something like that.
Yeah. Who do you got the White Sox getting?
I have the White Sox acquiring Eduardo Escobar. Going back to a couple weeks ago, he's already been linked to the White Sox. They've been banged up. They're getting Eloy back.
Yeah, he's activated tomorrow.
Luis Roberts been hurt, so they need outfielders. Eduardo Escobar can play kind of all over the field. Also, Nick Madrigal is out for the season.
Yeah.
So plugging me either in the outfield or at second. He's a switch hitter, hits some bombs, fits in well there.
Yeah, I originally had Adam Frazier going to the White Sox. He was another guy that was linked to go there. Obviously, he just got traded to San Diego. So I have them getting Cole Calhoun, guy that's been hurt this season. He just came back. Guy that can give them some lefty pop. They just lost Adam Eaton to the Angels. So Cole Calhoun gives them some power from the left side. Over to the AL East, Baltimore Orioles. Who do you have them getting?
I have the Orioles acquiring Sean Newcomb from Atlanta. He was traded for Andrelton Simmons all those years ago, and he just has not panned out to be what he was supposed to be.
He's in the bullpen now, eh?
Yeah, he gets mixed in and out of the rotation of the pen.
Yeah,
I think Baltimore, even though it's a scary place to play, because that ballpark plays well to hitters.
Flies.
I could see them trading for Sean Newcomb, especially if they're willing to get rid of John Means.
Yeah. I have the Baltimore getting Andrew Heaney at the deadline, and potentially extending him. I just don't they got to get somebody to pitch some games for some major league arms to pitch, right? You can't just have a rotation full of prospects. I mean, they're throwing guys like Matt Harvey out there this year. Andrew Heaney would be an upgrade to what they have right now.
So you got Heaney going back in a Means deal. Is that what I'm?
Yeah, potentially, yeah, like that, something like that, yeah.
Obviously not Heaney.
Obviously, it'd be Heaney and prospects, right?
Yeah.
Who do you have the New York Yankees getting? I'm interested to see who you got.
I have them getting Ketel Marte.
Okay.
He fits in the infield, fits in the outfield. He's not a great defender.
No.
But he can play those positions.
Switch hitter too.
But he's a switch hitter. They need lefty pop. You know, it's pretty pathetic. Their lineup has no lefties, and they play.
The stadium is built for lefties, and they have all righties. It doesn't make sense.
So I see Ketel Marte going to the Yankees, playing some outfield. I know he's a free agent this year. I can even see them re-signing him.
Yeah.
But I think that he would fit real well in.
I have them getting Whit Merrifield. I think that Whit Merrifield has been rumored to get traded from the Royals the last 5 years. He's on a cheap contract or a cheap cap friendly, contract, right? He's not getting that much money per year. A guy that wears out the baseball, can play all over the diamond. He can play second, short. He can play some outfield. I think this is a perfect player for the Yankees to go out and get. Put him at the top of the lineup. They have Rougned Odor at second base right now. Is that really what we're doing right now? It just doesn't make this lineup is just, we talked about this a couple pods ago. This lineup is just not really properly structured. They blew another game to the Red Sox today. They lost 3 or 4 of them. And they should have won 2 of 4. They blew 2 games in that series. So, yeah, I have Merrifield going there. Who do you got the Toronto Blue Jays getting?
I have the Blue Jays getting Craig Kimbrell. He's got an option, and they're going to need a closer. They try to get Kirby Yates at the beginning of the year. and that didn't work out. He's out for the season. So I think Craig Kimbrell kind of elevates their bullpen, which has struggled this year. Yeah. And also he has the option, which I think, with the way Toronto's cap is, or their, salary is set up, they have tons of money to spend before the luxury tax.
Yeah.
And that luxury tax is probably going to go up with the new CBA anyway.
Yeah.
So I think that Craig Kimbrell fits in pretty nicely there. Yeah. And it would, basically fix a hole that they've had since losing Roberto Ozuna.
Yeah, they haven't had a closer since 2017. I'm completely there. I mean, they had Ken Giles there for a little bit, but I mean, he had his issues there a little bit. But I'm with you. I got Craig Kimbrell also going to the Blue Jays. They've been rumored for potential maybe Kimbrell, Bryant Hendricks type deal. Like I think it's a perfect match with the Cubs and the Jays, because the Jays got a lot of young positional players, Gurriel, Biggio, and then they got a lot of good pitching prospect, Groshans, Austin Martin. They got a lot of a good top prospect, good system to have, and I think there definitely is a deal there to be made. Who do you got to Tampa? Who do you got the Rays getting?
I have Tampa getting Jonathan Scope. They just made a trade for Nelson Cruz.
Yeah.
Right now they have G-Man Choi over there at first base. And I can't even think who their right-handed bat at first base is, but Jonathan Scope's having a really good year. He's the all-star snub. And I think he would fit in real good there, because he's going to add that platoon with G-Man and maybe even take over that role full time. He's not a second baseman anymore. So, got to play him at first.
I want to say Yandy Diaz plays some first base for them.
Yeah, I think so.
I had them getting Nelson Cruz. We did this before. Obviously, Nelson Cruz was traded. So, yeah, I had Nelson Cruz going to Tampa. It just makes so much sense. I mean, we were talking like off the record yesterday. It's like, wow, Tampa finally has like a legit, guy that everybody knows. Like Nelson Cruz is a big name. He's been one of the most feared hitters in the league for a long time. They go out and make that trade for him, and then they go out and trade Rich Hill. Like Tampa Bay just be doing some weird stuff sometimes.
Yeah, it's Tampa. They get it done.
Yeah. Let's go over to the NL West here. We're gonna go to the NL teams now. We'll start with
Arizona. Boston.
Oh, sorry here. Yeah, sorry, I completely forgot about Boston. Who do you got? My bad.
I got Anthony Rizzo, and
so do I.
Yeah. He's going. They need a long-term first baseman. And I think this is a guy that they could re-sign. In addition to this, I also could see them getting Carlos Santana. So either one or the other, not both of them. But I could see them possibly going the Carlos Santana route, just because I think it will cost a little bit less.
It will cost less, yeah.
Yeah. So, I either got Rizzo or Santana, preferably Rizzo for trying to make the World Series. But
I got them getting Rizzo too. I think that match just makes a lot of sense. When's the last time they've had a really good first base? It's been.
Mitch Moreland was pretty good there.
Yeah, but Mitch Moreland's not as good defensively as Anthony Rizzo. You know what I mean?
It's pretty good defensively.
I mean, before Mitch Moreland, I can't even think of right now they have Bobby Dalbec, and that they have
Mike Napoli.
Mike Napoli was okay. Bobby Dalbec, they've been playing Michael Chavis there. They just have been all over the place at first. So they do need a guy that can come in and set in stone and play that position long term for them. Now let's go to the NL West. We'll go to the NL teams. Who do you got Arizona getting?
I got Arizona getting Miguel Andujar, going back to my original Ketel Marte trade to the Yankees. I could see Andujar going the other way. He really doesn't have a role with the Yankees at this point. He's been playing some left field, but he's not that starting third baseman, runner up to the Rookie of the Year guy. So I could see Miguel Andujar going back to Arizona, who could kind of fit him in at third. They could fit him in at first if they wanted to. Yeah. Even if they want to keep him in the outfield, they can kind of play with him, maybe even put him at second. So I have Miguel Andujar going to the Diamondbacks.
I got JD Davis going to Arizona. I'll get to who is going to go the other way to the Mets here in a second. But JD Davis, guy that plays third, guy can play some outfield. He's got 4 years control left. I think that would be a piece that Arizona could potentially trade for. Let's see. Who do you got Colorado getting?
Well, Colorado is not going to have a shortstop after they trade Trevor Story. So long term,
if they trade Trevor Story, he might walk for nothing.
Yeah, I got them trading for Paul DeJong of the St. Louis Cardinals.
Okay.
They have Tommy Edman that can play shortstop.
Yeah.
He's a power righty bat that they can have for a couple years, and then go through the process again. You know. Yep. So yeah, I got St. Louis acquiring Paul DeJong to be the future shortstop.
I got Colorado getting Clint Frazier, a guy, a prospect that can maybe build into a nice solid career in Colorado. I don't know. The fit just makes sense. Colorado has a need in the outfield a little bit. I don't know what they're going to do with Charlie Blackmon moving forward, but that's definitely something I could see. Who do you have going to San Diego?
Well, they just got Adam Frazier, so this kind of kills my vibe here with who I have. I had Kyle Schwarber going to San Diego, and my thinking behind this was that San Diego has been really in on Joey Gallo. For some reason, I feel like that's not going to happen, and probably not going to happen even more now that they got Adam Frazier. So I had Kyle Schwarber going there, and now that I look at that, now we're going to have to figure out some money to get Kyle Schwarber there and find a position for him to play.
Right.
So maybe we see him jump in for one of those closers. Taylor Rogers, Kimbrel, maybe they get him back. Brad Hand's available. Maybe they get him back for a third stint. Yeah. There's guys on the table and that bullpen that I could see them getting to set up games. They have Mark Melanson that has done a great job, but the more you have, the better you are. So maybe they go for another arm.
Definitely not a bad problem to have. I do have him swinging for the fences and saying like F you to the Dodgers and going out and get Joey Gallo. Like kind of force the Dodgers' hand a little bit here. I got Joey Gallo. Let's see what your next move is. They go and get Joey Gallo. I'm sure Joey Gallo would love to resign in there. I mean, why wouldn't you like to resign there? So like I think San Diego trades for Joey Gallo and creates kind of like a powerhouse in that NL West and kind of trying to take that throne away from the Dodgers. What do you think about that?
I mean, I think on paper we can make it happen if you trade away Pham or Will Myers, but right now there's not a spot for him to play. But hey, crazier things have happened.
Yeah. Let's see. Who do you have the Dodgers getting? I have Max Scherzer. I think this is a no-brainer.
Yeah, I also have Max Scherzer. Like I said, they've been looking for pitching, and I mean, Max Scherzer was scratched for an injury yesterday.
Yeah.
But come October, you want Max Scherzer on your squad.
Yeah.
Obviously, we don't know what's going on with Bauer. They're anticipating him being there. Money would have to be moved to make this work. I mean, they're already over the luxury tax.
Who would you see like going the other way to make the money work? Because Scherzer's getting there's obviously it's like compensated. You're not going to pay his whole salary.
Yeah, you're not going to pay that. That's deferred money. That'll fall on Washington, but
no, I mean like what's it called? His contract for the rest of the year would be prorated, right? They'd only take like
it would, but the problem is the Dodgers are already $50 million over the luxury tax.
Like who? I'm thinking
so, maybe AJ Pollock.
Chris
make
Taylor,
money.
Does he make money?
I don't think he makes much money.
I'm just trying to think like who could you trade? Maybe a David Price?
I don't think that would happen either. I think you need those arms going into October.
Yeah, true.
Joe Kelly, maybe he's making a lot more money than he probably should be.
He's making 12, I think.
Yeah, it's a hefty amount of cash. So
yeah,
maybe Joe Kelly goes the other way.
Definitely there, but it might take some hurdles to make the money work.
For sure.
One more in the NL West before we move on to the Central. Who do you got San Francisco getting?
I have San Francisco trading for Raisel Iglesias.
Okay.
They have Jake McGee closing games right now. Also,
a free agent.
Taylor Rogers' brother, can't think of his first name. Is it Tyler? There's like 3 different Rogers in the game right now. But you know who I'm talking about, the side armor.
Yeah.
Him and Jake McGee, they've been splitting time in the 9th. Yeah. And I think Raisel Iglesias, who's been one of the best closers of the past 5 years, just makes that bullpen deeper. And they are on the top of the AL West right now. The NL West right now. And they got to stay there. And the way they stay there is by closing out games. So
I am sticking with the closer here. I got him trading for Richard Rodriguez from Pittsburgh to lock down that bullpen. I do agree, like they could trade for a guy like Iglesias, but Rodriguez, I went with a guy with a little bit more security. He's got 3 more years of control compared to Iglesias, who could walk at the end of the year. That's why I kind of went that way. They definitely do need some closer help, some bullpen help if they want to bring home that NL West title. So yeah, I got Richard Rodriguez going there. NL Central, who do you got Pittsburgh getting?
I have Pittsburgh acquiring Justice Sheffield. Obviously, Seattle's in it right now, but Sheffield's kind of been not as advertised. I think when they originally traded James Paxton away.
And that so was I could from see them Yankees, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I could see them making a trade with Pittsburgh potentially. I thought maybe Adam Frazier was going to be there for Seattle. Obviously, that's not going to be part of the plan anymore. Maybe that deal doesn't make as much sense as it did when Adam Frazier was on the board. But Justice Sheffield of Pittsburgh makes sense just because Pittsburgh likes to take these young guys that have struggled, change the scenery, and they make them into who they are. So they're good at developing pitchers.
Let's see here. I have him getting Brad Keller from Kansas City. Another young pitcher, guy that's had a little bit of a down year the last couple seasons for Kansas City. But Pittsburgh has you remember when Jay Happ went over to Pittsburgh and they kind of fixed him? They have fixed pitchers in the past like that. That's what they're known for.
Francisco Liriano,
another one. So maybe that'd be a good move for
AJ Burnett.
Yeah, guy like Brad Keller to go there.
Sorry, they're running through my mind.
Yeah. Who do you got St. Louis getting?
I have St. Louis acquiring Brent Honeywell Jr. from Tampa Bay Rays. They like to make trades with each other all the time.
Yeah.
So I think that for some reason the Cardinals always go after. They went after Liberatore there, and they always take these pitchers from Tampa, and I just think this is another one where Brett Honeywell Jr. has had Tommy John multiple times, has had some issues, health issues, but he has a lot of promising stuff.
Yeah.
So I could see, St. Louis looking for a guy. I think Carlos Martinez is a free agent at the end of the year who has done poorly this year.
Wainwright's probably going to retire.
They're looking for future young pieces that they could fit into that rotation.
Yeah, and that's exactly where I went. I got Zach Plesac. It's going to cost you a little bit more, but you got that guaranteed 5 years of control. Like I said, Carlos Martinez free agent, Wainwright probably going to retire. So you're going to need some arms, and I think Zach Plesac could be a tremendous addition to the St. Louis Cardinals. Who do you got Chicago Cubs getting?
I have them getting Lourdes Gurriel Jr. from Toronto, especially if they're doing this Kimbrel trade. They got to make the money work.
Yeah.
They got to make the money work, and also they need a young player that could kind of play MLB innings.
Yeah.
And keep them entertaining while they go through this retool/rebuild, whatever they decide to do there.
Yeah.
He also could play multiple positions. He struggled in the infield and moved to the outfield, but maybe they move him back to the infield. They like guys like that. They can play multiple positions. So I think Lourdes Gurriel to the Cubs.
Yeah.
Makes sense if Kimbrel's going the other way.
I'm sticking with the Blue Jays here. I got him getting Cavan Biggio in that Kimbrel trade. Guy that can play third, second. He's played first. He's played outfield. He's played every single position on the diamond except shortstop and catcher. So I think that would be a guy that the Cubs definitely value in a trade for a guy like Kimbrel. Who do you got Cincinnati Reds getting?
I have the Cincinnati Reds getting Brad Hand. Obviously, they're in a weird state where they're not out of it. They have a good record. It's over 500, a couple games over 500. And they think that they can go to the playoffs. But that bullpen has been so bad this year. I believe Amir Garrett's ERA is up over 5. You add Brad Hand into that back end of the bullpen. They have Miss Rysell this year. So I think Brad Hand just makes sense. Incoming news from Ken Rosenthal: the Mariners did offer a trade package for Adam Frazier and was rejected.
Okay, yeah, so they obviously went a different direction.
We were on the right track there.
Yeah. You almost had your prediction right. I have Cincinnati also getting a lefty reliever. I have him getting that fireballer from Baltimore, Tanner Scott. a guy that's got a couple years of control left. He's pitched really well for Baltimore the last couple seasons. Go there. He's had closer experience the last couple seasons. Yeah, I have him getting Tanner Scott. Milwaukee Brewers, I have him getting Trevor Story. I think it's a go for it move for them. Like this is they've been known to do this in the past, right? To like kind of go for it moves. They went out and signed Mike Moustakas a few years back. They traded from Mike Moustakas, right?
Yeah, and then extended him for a 1 year deal.
Yeah, 1 year deal, right? And then yeah, like I think that they have a glaring need at shortstop. And you hope that Christian Yelich can have a better second half than he did in the first half, and then go on a run. They got a lengthy lead in the division, and yeah, I think they go big game hunt for Story.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, Willie Adames has came over and done well there at short.
True.
So, maybe they view him as the future shortstop. But I also could see them acquiring, Trevor Story and him playing second base.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if that's something that Story would be open to long term. Obviously, those are questions that Milwaukee probably wants to find out before they make such a big deal. But I also had Trevor Story going to Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Because it sets them up there with the Dodgers, and it sets them up there with the Padres, and even let's throw them in at the Giants.
Yep.
They're having a good year. They could compete with anybody if they added a guy like Trevor Story. They need the bat.
Do you think he would extend there? Do you think he would sign?
I think potentially. I think so.
Okay. Yeah. Who do you got? Okay, let's move over to the last division here. NL East, Miami. I predicted them to get a guy like Byron Buxton. I said it earlier in this pod. Like, I think like that'd be a decent guy. I think he's only 27 years old. Yeah, he's been injured in the past, but I mean, you put him around all those prospects, Jazz Chisholm, those pitching prospects. I think it could be a good move for them.
Yeah, I have them going. I have them going with the cheaper route in Aristides Aquino of the Cincinnati Reds.
Okay.
I think maybe Anthony Bass of the Reds makes sense also. So I think that there's a stockpile in that outfield. Obviously, you have Castellanos, Winker, Akiyama, Senzel, Aquino, Jankowski. The list just goes on and on. So I think Aristides Aquino to Miami makes sense. It gives them a guy that has pop. You stick him in right field. He gets the MLB playing time every day. And you let go of a reliever, and it's a good deal on both sides.
Who do you have the Washington Nationals getting?
So this might come off surprising, but I have the Washington Nationals getting Joey Gallo. Obviously, Schwarber's a free agent, but you still have Soto and you have Turner, and you need another piece. You have Josh Bell.
He's had a really good couple months.
Yeah, they lost Rendon. They lost Harper. They don't want to lose Turner and Soto. And they still have Patrick Corbin. And if Strasburg gets healthy, they have a good one too.
Right.
So I'm thinking this isn't a team that's just, and they've shown they're not a team that's just going to roll over and rebuild.
I mean,
they're going to try to retool and compete.
They had one of the worst starts to the season, and they come back and win the World Series. Like this team battles.
So they like to compete, and I think Joey Gallo is a guy that can fit in there. He can play the outfield consistently. And he's not a hamper on defense this year. Defensively, they have not been good. He's an upgrade on what they have. Victor Robles has not been good. Maybe you see him go the other way. And yeah, then you have Soto, Gallo, and Turner as your main three. Josh Bell looming outside of that.
Yeah, I have them getting John Gray. Guy that's had a really bounce back season. He's been good for them, and I think they would look to possibly extend him, especially if they lose a guy like Scherzer. You're going to need a guy that come in and fill that void in the rotation. So I could see them getting a guy like John Gray. Who do you have Atlanta getting?
I have Atlanta making a trade with Arizona since they have a relationship there, obviously going back to the Dansby Swanson deal. I have Zach Gallen going to the Atlanta Braves. The Braves like their young pitching core. Obviously, once you get Soroka, Ian Anderson, and Fried in there together, plus you add a Zach Gallen, that's a lethal four. Morton's a free agent at the end of the year. So he's a long-term piece. And Arizona has no benefit of keeping Zach Gallen other than trying to get his market better. So if they can get a valuable deal, Arizona, I don't see how they don't trade him going where they're going into a deep, deep, dark hole. So, so
yeah,
Zach Gallen to Atlanta is my pick.
I got them getting Jose Berrios. I think Alex Anthopoulos is no one to, you trade for David Price. I mean, he was at Toronto. I think that, it'd be a really good replacement for Morton. And then you would have Fried. You would have, what's the guy that just tore his Achilles again? Soroka and potentially Jose Berrios. It's a pretty good 1-2-3. And obviously Berrios has still got a couple years of control. If they want to keep that window open, they obviously got to figure out what they're going to do with Freddie Freeman, right? The fact that he's unsigned is a little concerning, but I think they'll figure something out there with Freddie. I mean, he's been their guy since he is a teenager. So, I got them getting Berrios. Who do you got going to Philly?
I have Chris Bryant going to the Philadelphia Phillies. Like you made the comment about Anthopoulos, Davey Dombrowski.
Yeah.
He likes to make trades and he likes to make ballsy ones. So I see them going after Chris Bryant. Chris Bryant is really close friends with Bryce Harper.
Yep.
So I'm sure they feel that there's a possibility of them re-signing Chris Bryant there. Obviously, you have Andrew McCutchen coming off the books this year, $20 million ish. So, that $20 million can easily be allocated into Chris Bryant and kind of take his spot. So I just think this is a really interesting trade, but also could definitely benefit them. I think that relationship with Harper really helps this trade could come to fruition.
So let me check something here. How much back are the Philly here in the playoffs here?
I believe they're only 3 or 4 games out of first place.
So let me look here. Let's see here. Yeah, 4 back of first. Wild card.
It's over. I mean, it's going to be 2.
7 back. Yeah, they're best of it. Like I think they're going to go out and get a guy like Brad Hand. Like they need to shore up that bullpen, dude. Like they need to get somebody that's capable of closing games if they want to somehow sneak back into this race. And I think that Brad Hand is the guy.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense, but we'll see what happens.
Who do you have? Okay, last team here, the Mets. Who do you got the Mets getting?
I have the Mets getting Byron Buxton. They missed out on George Springer. They want that impact center fielder. Byron Buxton's your guy. Yeah. They have the prospect capital. They already made a big trade for Lindor. They're all in. The new ownership's already said that. So I think Byron Buxton and the Mets makes sense. Put him at the top of the order. He fills your void of missing out on George Springer.
Yeah.
And I think it's actually a perfect fit. I really do.
I have the Mets getting Eduardo Escobar. Like, I think that this is the guy that kind of, I can't talk, can come in and play third, short, wherever you need him on the diamond. And, like kind of like a JD Davis plus for an Eduardo Escobar. I think that could potentially happen. So that rounds out our teams. Obviously the trade deadline is Friday. So we're going to get this out as soon as possible. Let us know in the comments what you think. If we missed anybody, let us know. But this was definitely a challenging one to do because we could get 15 right or we can get 2 right on our predictions. So it was fun to do free agent predictions. It's fun to do trade predictions. But yeah, thanks for listening. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us along on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and thank you guys for tuning in.
Yeah, take care, guys.